If you are depressed, you're living in the past. If you're anxious, you're living in the future. If you are at peace, you are living in the present. Lao Tzu. I heard this quote recently in a class that I'm taking, and it was so profound to me that I wanted to do a podcast episode on this because a lot of things have been coming up lately that have been centered around the fear of the unknown and how that fear is directly related to the rise in anxiety these days. Now, this is just my read on it. I don't have any science or studies to back this up, but what I do know is when things are unknown, the world can be quite scary. It can be as big as not knowing what to do after someone close to you passes away, to maybe not knowing when your next paycheck is coming in, or to not knowing if there will be restrooms available at the destination you're going to, and really everything in between. You can't see it right now, but I'm raising my hand to all of these. Anxiety, without really even knowing it, has ruled my life for a very long time, often in the most subtle of ways. And not until starting this podcast have I become more aware of the subtle ways it shows up for me in my life. So today I want to give you a few anxiety tricks and tools on how to handle these more subtle moments of anxiety that arise in your everyday life, so you can better navigate those more chaotic moments during your travels where anxiety can rear its head. These will be practical, super easy to use, and you can practice them every day if you'd like. So I want you to join me today and learn how to tackle the unknown head on with practical tools you can use every single day. Hello, and welcome to the Anxious Adventurer podcast. I'm Katie Schlegel, your host. I've traveled to a lot of places around this beautiful planet, seen so many jaw-dropping sights, and have met some pretty amazing human beings along the way. Now, if you don't know this yet, I'm an anxious adventurer. If you're wondering what an anxious adventurer even means, well, to put it quite simply, it means that when I travel, I can get anxious or stressed out maybe a little easier or more often than the average person. However, over my many years of traveling, I've learned to tap into something special that makes traveling so much easier and more fun. That is my intuition. And the more I've learned to trust my gut during my travels, the more synchronistic, amazing, and even healing my travel experiences have been. If you're new around here, I'm assuming you found this podcast because of the name, because you too are an anxious adventurer. So welcome. This is a safe place to be yourself. My hope is that you use these travel stories, experiences, and tips or tools as a way to help you tap into your intuition, so you too can be swept off into the wonderful world that traveling can open up for you. Traveling can be so healing for people like us if you have the tools and understanding for it to be so. And the good news is, you don't have to do this alone. I'm here to be your guide and to help you on your path to healing your anxiousness and stress around traveling. So get ready to fill up your cup with magical moments where you find out that this world really is a friendly place. You just have to change the way you look at it, follow your gut, and step out your door. And don't you worry, I am right here beside you. Okay, let's jump right in. I don't want to fill this episode up with a lot of extra fluff because I want this to be one that you come back to time and time again to remind yourself of these tools you can use to help navigate your anxiety better. The first one is breath work. I know you've heard me mention this one before at various times throughout my travel stories, but it really is my go-to when I start to feel my anxiety bubbling up to the surface. We often hold our breath without even realizing it when we are scared, anxious, or stressed. So practicing deep breathing in your everyday life will allow you to have a parasympathetic response in moments that become elevated rather than a sympathetic response. If you're wondering what that even means or what that even is, I got you. Your parasympathetic nervous system is a network of nerves that relaxes you and your body after periods of stress or danger. Your sympathetic nervous system drives the flight or fight response in stressful situations, and oftentimes when we are really in no immediate danger. We are just so overstimulated and in this fear-based mode all the time that our bodies have become accustomed to living in this fight or flight mode. So if you train your body to have a parasympathetic response in everyday situations, it becomes like second nature to go to your breath work when life gets stressful or you become anxious. It will be like something else takes over and you go directly to deep breathing rather than holding your breath or fighting or flighting. I know that's not a word, but you get the gist, right? Now, let's practice different ways to do deep breathing. These are the ways that I've found to be very helpful and useful, but you may have your own, which is great. The point of this trick is to get you used to using them automatically. All right, first up, the counting method, or the 4-7-8 technique. This one uses a 4 count on the inhale, a 7 count on the hold, and an 8 count on the exhale. And yes, this intentional holding of the breath is okay to do in this work for this method. Let's try it together now. Inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Exhale for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And repeat. Do this at least 3 times when you're practicing this one. What this technique does is help slow down your breathing, which in turn encourages your body to enter a state of deep relaxation, triggering that parasympathetic response. The next type of breath work comes from one of my mentors, Sonia Choquette. She refers to it as 2 breaths in, 1 slide, and then smile. This one helps clear your head and drop into your heart. It's amazing at how effective it is. Okay, here's what you do. I'll explain it first, then we'll practice it together. So listen to the steps first. Here are the steps. You'll take a deep breath in through your nose. You put your tongue on the roof of your mouth and exhale out of your mouth as if you're blowing out candles. With the second inhale, filling up your lungs and belly, and then you put your tongue on the roof of your mouth and exhale out your mouth as if you're blowing out candles. Now for the slide and smile. Take one last deep breath in, filling up your entire body this time. Then open your jaw until you hear a click sound in your ears. You can try it now if you want to hear that click sound. Then exhale with an audible sigh. All right, let's practice this one. Inhale through your nose. Place your tongue on the roof of your mouth. And exhale as if you're blowing out candles. Exhaling all the breath out, pulling your belly to your spine. Take an even deeper breath in through your nose, filling up your lungs and belly. Place your tongue on the roof of your mouth and exhale as if you're blowing out candles. Exhaling again all the breath out, pulling your belly to your spine as you do. And now for the slide and smile. One last deep breath in, as if you're breathing up through your feet this time, filling your entire body. Open your jaw until you hear a click in your ears. Then exhale with a deep, good sigh sound. Make it audible. Then smile. You'll notice your head is completely clear. Okay, so those are two different ways you can use breath work to help calm your nerves and anxiety. Now, what are some other methods? Well, meditation is one. This is a great way to tap into your parasympathetic nervous system. Meditation allows you to calm your mind, body, and spirit. It puts you in a listening state of mind. You don't need to fully and completely tune out everything around you, but it's more allowing yourself to be present. I've been practicing meditation for years now, and when I miss a day, I can feel it down to the cellular level, and I just feel off. Meditation again puts you in that parasympathetic mode and relaxes your body so you can better handle life with more ease, grace, and flow. There are a ton of ways in which to meditate, and I'm not going to tell you which one is right for you. This is where you have to do some exploring and see which one resonates. It took me a while to find meditations that worked for me and calmed my mind. So don't be discouraged if at first you don't feel like it's working. You often find the gold when you decide to never give up looking for it. That is to say, stick with it until you find your sweet spot. Practicing meditation allows you to become more aware of your space, what's around you, and what's happening. You start to be able to read situations more clearly because your mind, body, and spirit is more clear and able to listen. Now, if you need some guidance on meditation, please email me. I'd be more than happy to give you some resources. All right, next trick or tool. It's a bit nuanced, this one, and maybe out of your comfort zone. But let me tell you, it works. And I, for one, know because I use these every day. They are called plant and flower essences. Bach is a well-known brand, and you may have heard of their Rescue Remedy, which is a great essence blend. I have found two, however, that I love for my anxiety that really seem to do the trick. Since I know my anxiety stems from this unknown factor, I chose these two specifically to help calm my nerves. Before I tell you about those, I want to give you a little backstory on plant and flower essences. This is an excerpt from the Bach Remedies website. The system of plant and flower-based essences was developed in the 1930s by Dr. Edward Bach, a physician and homeopath who was convinced that emotional well-being was key to overall health. Dr. Bach devoted his life to exploring the use of flowers and plants to create a simple, natural, and gentle approach to emotional balance. He was inspired and empowered by the strength of nature surrounding him. While I use many of Bach's essences, these two in particular have really helped me improve my reaction to stress and anxiety. The first one is aspen. Feel secure. Feel secure has a positive potential for you to find inner peace and have a fearlessness to face the unknown. I mean, you can't get more on the nose than that, now can you? I take this every time there's something unknown in play. It can be as simple as meeting up with a friend for coffee to putting yourself out there on the dating scene again. It immediately goes to work on your emotions and gives you that more relaxed, secure feeling, like you're okay in your own skin. The second one I use for my anxiety is walnut. Adapt to change. The positive potential of this one is to help you move forward and make changes in your life with consistency. Without the ability to adapt to change, and quickly sometimes, you can end up getting yourself stuck, not able to move yourself forward. This is where your body can freeze up when your anxiety or stress bubbles to the surface. So this essence will help you relax and adapt more easily. Now you may think I'm crazy talking about plant and flower essences for your emotional well-being, But Mother Nature has been around for a lot longer than we have and knows her stuff. Everything, and I mean everything in nature, has a purpose. So why not use these essences to your advantage to live a better, emotionally balanced life? Just think about it, and of course, do your own research. Don't take my word for it. I just wanted to mention this tool because of the positive effect both of these essences have had on my overall emotional well-being. All right, the final tool I want to talk about today is using your intuition. When you navigate life using your intuition, the fear of the unknown starts to dissipate because your intuition will never put you in harm's way. It knows the way forward, but you have to be still and listen. As one of my other mentors, Echo Bodine, said, your intuition is that still, small voice inside you. But how do you start paying attention to and hearing that still, small voice? It is really small and still, after all. Well, another trick from my mentor, Echo, is clearing yourself so you can make the space available to hear it, and then start talking to your intuition and asking it questions. Here's how to do that. First, let's get you cleared. All right, I want you to close your eyes if it's safe to do so. Take a deep breath in. Inhale as if you're inhaling all the way down to your hips. Then exhale slowly until you have no more breath to exhale. Inhale this time all the way down to your feet, filling your lungs, filling your belly, and let that breath fill your entire body. Exhale with a whoosh sound, letting all the stress and all the worry go. Now, ask God, the universe, source, spirit, whomever you call upon. Ask them to please clear you now. Please clear your body. Please clear your soul. Please clear your heart. Please clear your mind. And please clear your energy. Take one more deep breath in as you ask for them one last time to please clear you now. And exhale. Then listen. What do you hear? I'll be quiet for the next 30 seconds. Okay, come back and write down what you heard. If you didn't hear anything, that's okay. That means you just need to practice more. If you heard something, then recognize that as your intuition. Practice this daily, multiple times a day. Then start asking your intuition questions and be still and listen for the answer. Start off with something that you know is true, like, is the sky blue? Or, will the sun rise tomorrow? Then listen. I promise you, if you start doing this on a regular basis, you'll start to operate from a place of knowing. This is the key. This is where you want to be, because then you will no longer be automatically responding out of fear. Instead, you'll be automatically responding from a solid place of knowing what to do. It changes your world. Can you imagine living life with joy and peace and with ease? No longer struggling to find the answers outside of yourself, but knowing which way to go and trusting your gut to be your guide, because you know it will never lead you wrong. It's when we start operating from our mind or head, that's when we get into trouble, fall fearful of the unknown, and become stressed out and anxious. If you didn't catch my last episode, or maybe skipped over it because it was a meditation or a little woo-woo, I encourage you to go back and have a listen. This meditation will guide you to unlock and ignite your intuition, and incorporates many of these methods into one 10-minute or so meditation. You can also cut in front of the line and just download it. The link to that is in the show notes. I encourage you to practice each of these tricks and use each of these tools to see which one resonates with you and your spirit. One, or if you're like me, all of them will help you in all sorts of different situations. Well, that's all I have for you today. I put some links in the show notes if you'd like to take a look and do your own research. I encourage you to check those out when you get a chance. Before I sign off, I want to invite you to come on over and join my community on Instagram at Mariposa Skies. Instagram is really the visual part of this podcast, and it's where I share more travel insights, intuition in travel, talk about the fashion and the artisans I find on my travels, and help inspire you to get out and experience this beautiful world we live in. I'm creating a new kind of experience over at Mariposa Skies, and it's really coming all together. So hit follow and subscribe to my newsletter so you're in the know. And a little friendly reminder, if I may, to drop a 5-star review on your favorite podcast app. It really does help me get this show out to more people, and I'd love to reach a greater audience. Thank you. If you want to be my next guest on the podcast, or maybe you have an amazing travel story yourself and you want to tell it, send an email to anxiousadventurersclub@gmail.com. I'd love to hear from you. Remember, the more you practice this work that you learned about in this episode when you're not traveling, the stronger and more grounded you will become by your next adventure or trip. And it will be your best one yet. Okay, until next time, my dear anxious adventurers, thank you so much for listening today. Ciao. Besos. Mwah.